Okay, hi everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. What we have here is the first lesson to start our first day of distance learning. The aim is how do we create, read, and interpret a dot plot. I'm going to walk you through how to do all the problems contained in the lesson. My office hours are going to be from 9 to 10:30 and then from 12:30 to 2 each day, where you can email me, you can message me on Remind, or video chat using Google Hangouts, okay? So if there's anything you need, you can reach me at those hours from 9 to 10:30 and then again from 12:30 to 2. Let's take a look at the do now. It says to create a scenario that could be displayed in the following dot plot. Okay, so this is where you can get creative. You can come up with your own idea for what you want this to represent. I am going to, my idea is this represents how many people have a certain number or a number of pets in the class. Okay, so the numbers on the bottom, that's going to represent the number of pets. Okay, we're going to use that to represent the number of pets. So, number of pets. Okay, and each dot is going to represent a person. One person. Okay. One person. Okay, so let's take a look here. If one dot is representative of one person, how many people have 0 pets? That would be 3 people. Okay, 3 people have 0 pets. How many people have 1 pet? We count the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 people that have 1 pet. Okay, this is what that means. 9 people have 1 pet. We have 10 dots for 2. Okay, that means that there are 10 people that have 2 pets. And then we just keep going through the dot plot, okay? There are 4 people that have 3 pets, 3 people that have 4 pets, 5 people that have 2 pets, 6 people that have only 1 pet. I'm sorry, 1 person that has 6 pets. Okay, 1 person has 6 pets, 1 person has 7 pets, and 1 person has 8 pets. Okay, so let me just write that down. 1 person has 6 pets. 1 person has 7 pets. 1 person has 8 pets. Okay, it can be a little tricky there with what the dots represent and what the numbers on the bottom represent. So it's really important to make sure you're labeling them and refer back to the labels if you kind of start to get the two mixed. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the next problem here. A 7th grade class collected data on the number of letters in the first names of all the students in class. Here is the dot plot of the data they collected. So for this dot plot, if you look on the x-axis here, okay, those numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 represent the name length. And again, the dots, each dot represents 1 person or 1 student in this case, okay? 1 dot represents 1 student. So if we were to look at this and let's say, okay, how many students in the class have 5 letters in their name. How many students have 5 letters in their name? Oops. We would go to the 5 letters, which is here, and we would count the dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be 5 students. Okay. How many students have 8 letters in their name? That would be only 1 student. Okay. So let's look at the other types of questions that we could answer based on the dot plot. How many students are in the class? If we want to find out how many students are in the class, we're going to add up each column of dots. So for example, the first column we have 3 dots. Here we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 1, and 4. So we want to add all of these numbers up. Okay, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 is 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 25. So that's a total of 25 students. Remember, each dot represents 1 student. What is the shortest name length? So remember that the numbers on the bottom represent the name length. So the shortest name length would be 3. The longest name length would be 9. What is the most common name length? That would be the number that has the most dots, which is 6, because it has the most with 8. Okay. What name length describes the center of the data? Okay, so now center of the data, that refers back to median. Okay, the median. Now, if we have 25 students in the class, what would be right in the middle of that? You'd get 25 divided by 2, which is equal to 12.5. So we're looking at the number that's in between, well, in this case, 12 and 13. You can't have 12 and a half students. Okay, so we're looking for that 13th number. Let's take a look. We count from either end. It doesn't matter which way you count. If we count from the beginning, 1, let me do it with the yellow. 1, okay, it's not working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is the 12th dot, and this is the 13th dot. Both of them fall in the number length of 6. So that's the name length that describes the center of the data. Okay. So like I said, same thing as defining the median. Okay, let's take a look here. The dot plot shows the vertical jump of some NBA players. A vertical jump is how high a player can jump from a standstill. So the dot plot here shows the vertical jump in inches. So for 32, we've got 32, then we have 33, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43. Okay, those are the vertical jumps. What statistical question do you think could be answered using these data? So and this is a type of question that has, a couple of different answers. There's really not just one right answer. You can use your imagination to create your own question. An example might be, how many NBA players can jump, a certain distance, of how many of them can vertically jump a certain amount of inches. Okay. What was the highest vertical jump by a player? that would be, remember the vertical jumps here, we have 43 inches is the highest, okay? And we have how many NBA players that can jump that high? We have 2 players that can jump that high, okay? Oh, that goes here. Okay, what was the lowest vertical jump by a player? That's the smallest number that we have on the chart, and that would be 32. What is the most common vertical jump? Okay, that's the one that has the most dots. That would be 38. How many players jump that high? We count the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many players jumped higher than 40 inches? So this is important right here. It says jumped higher than 40 inches. Does that include 40? No, it doesn't, because it's how many jumped higher than that. So the only ones that we're going to include are from 41 to 43. And we have 3 NBA players that could jump in between from 41 to 43. Now, let's say another NBA player jumped 33 inches. Add a dot for this player on the dot plot. How does this player compare with the other players? Okay, so think about how he compares, how he or she compares. Are they jumping as high as the rest of the NBA players being counted in our dot plot? Are they on, are they jumping higher than most of the players, or are they jumping kind of lower than most of the players? In this case, they're on the lower end, so they jump lower than most of the other players. I probably still cannot jump that high. Not even close. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Let's take a look here. A biologist collected data to answer the question, how many eggs do robins lay? The following is a frequency table of the collected data. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with this from elementary school. All right, here we have a frequency table. Step 1, complete the frequency column. Now, the numbers that we're going to use for the frequency column, we're just getting from the tally. Okay, the tally right here. All we're going to do is take these and we're going to rewrite them in numerical form. Okay, the number of robins that lay only 1 egg, that would be 2. For 2 eggs, we have 5, 10, 11, 12. For number 3, we have 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. For number 4, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And for 5, we have 1. So we just completed the frequency column. Now draw a dot plot of the number of eggs a robin lays. Okay. So let's do that here on the bottom. I'm going to try and do this as neatly as I possibly can. Okay, so creating the dot plot. Start with our horizontal line. I'm going to have to draw it lower than that. Delete. Because we got lots of eggs there. Okay. Okay, so the number of eggs, sorry guys, let me try this again. Let's see.
I'm gonna kill Midas again. I hope.
Jake. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up and write a number of eggs a robin lays. All right, that should be lowercase. We're going from 1 to 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so How many eggs? We got how many birds lay only one egg? That would be 2. We're looking at the frequency. So I am going to draw 2 circles above the 1. We have 12 robins that can lay 2 eggs. So we need to draw 12 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We have 18 robins that can lay 3 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 9 birds, 9 robins that can lay 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And finally, 1 robin that can lay 5 eggs. Okay. What number of eggs describes the center of the data? Well, we're going to add up the number of birds, number of robins in our data. Okay. And you can do that by just adding up this chart. Okay. We got 12 and 18 is going to be 30. 9 and 1, that's 10, so that's 42. We have a total of 42 birds. Okay, 42 robins. And if we divide 42 by 2, that's equal to 21. So we're looking for where the 21st dot falls. If we start, it doesn't matter which direction you start from. If I start from over here, I'm going to count 21 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to have the 21st dot in this column here. So therefore, the number of eggs that describes the center of the data is going to be 3. Okay? Which means that that's where the median number is found. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at this question here. It says, listed are 2 statistical questions and 2 different dot plots of data collected to answer these questions. Match each statistical question with its dot plot. Explain each of your choices. Okay. So notice the difference between dot plot A and dot plot B. The numbers on the bottom of dot plot A go from 0 to 10. Okay, and then on dot plot B, they go from 2 to 6. What you really want to do is just match up the dot plot A with which question you think it's referring to. And the 2 questions are here, A and B. A is, what is the number of fish, if any, students in class have in an aquarium at their home? And then B is, how many pockets do the 6th graders have in the pants that they are wearing at school on a particular day? Okay, there's really no wrong answer here. It's really about choosing the one that you think best displays the data and then giving a justification for that. Okay, your answers can be different. My answer could be different from yours. You just have to have the proper justification. Okay. If I had to come up with, one right now, and honestly, my choice always, I think it changes really every year. Sometimes I say dot plot A represents, number of fish. Okay. Cause I find it hard to believe that, someone could have actually 10 pockets on them on their pants, but then, I could also say, okay, I think dot plot B represents number of fish, because it's very common to have, a certain number of fish in a tank. Okay, so if students have an aquarium at their home, maybe there are, maybe
I'm going into the chopper.
Maybe there are 6 students that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fish, okay? Or maybe, you know, instead of the number of students being the x-axis, maybe that's the number of fish, and then the students are the dot plots. So you really have a lot of freedom to decide what you want to represent one, okay? All right, let's take a look at this question here. It says a sixth grader rolled 2 number cubes 21 times. The student found the sum of the 2 numbers that he rolled each time. The following are the sums of the 21 rolls of the 2 number cubes. Okay, so let's go through this. Now, the easiest way to do this is as you're going through and writing down the tallies, cross the number out so that you don't count it twice. Okay, so the first number 9, I'm going to go and mark that tally. Then I have 2, 4, 6, 5, 7, 8, and you just keep doing this until this is 11. Keep on doing this until you have accounted for all of the data. Eight, 7, 5, 7, 6, and 6. Okay, and then once I have that done, I'm going to go and write the number out in my frequency column. So I have 1, this is 0. If I have no tally marks, it means that the frequency is 0, because that sum did not come up at all. Okay, the sum of 4 came up twice. The sum of 5 came up 3 times. The sum of 6 came up 4 times. The sum of 7 came up 5 times. 8 came up 3 times. Then we have 2, 0, 1, and 0. What sum describes the center of the data? Okay, so it tells us here, so we don't have to actually add up the frequency, okay? There were 21 rolls, so that's the total. And if we add the frequency, we should get a total of 21, okay? We should get a total of 21. You want to find the center of the data. Again, center of the data is the median. It's the same as the median. So 21 divided by 2, that's going to give you 10.5. So you're going to find that after the 10th number. Okay, 1, so I can, if I want to start counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's after that number, after the 10th number, which is going to be found here. So the sum that describes the center of the data is going to be 7. What was the most common sum of the number cubes? Look at your frequency column, okay? And the most was actually the same as the median, which is 7, because that sum came up the most often. Okay, make a dot plot based on the information from your frequency table. Make sure you label the dot plot and give it a title. So scrolling back up here real quick, we have the sum rolled is from 2 to 12. All right, so we're going to make that our x-axis, sum rolled, and you want to label that from 2 to 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and I'm just going to keep flipping back and forth here. We got 2 once. 3 did not come up at all, so we don't put any dots in that column. 4 came up twice. 5 came up 3 times. 6 came up 4 times, so we got 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 came up 3 times. 6 came up 4 times. And 7 came up the most with 5. Okay. The number 8 came up 3 times. We got 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. 3, 2, 0, 1, and 0. Okay. And to give it a title, okay, look back at the question. It's a 6th grader rolled 2 number cubes 21 times. The student found the sum of the 2 numbers that he rolled each time. Okay, so you can say how many times we rolled the sum. Okay, number of times. A sum of 2 cubes were rolled. Okay, and that is a sufficient title. Okay. And again, now you see here, where does the middle of the data look? It looks like it's right at 7, and that matches your median. So the whole purpose of a dot plot is to really give you a visual, a good visual, as to where the center of the data is going to lie. Okay, sometimes we may not always be able to see it as clearly in a frequency table or in a tally. Okay, going back to what we did here, it may not be as easy to see that, okay, especially if we don't have the tallies there. It makes it a little bit easier to see that with the tally marks. With the frequency column, you know, you might just look at it and say, okay, well, all I see is a bunch of numbers here. When we actually graph it using the dot plot, it gives us a visual representation of how the data plays out. Okay, and you can see that 7 has the most the highest number of times it was rolled. Okay. All right. Okay, sum it up. How can we create a dot plot, and what is a dot plot useful for? Okay, so we really just spoke about that. The way we can create a dot plot, again, is you want to decide what your x-axis is going to represent. Each dot should stand for one number, for a single number, and you add those, you keep putting more dots on top. A dot plot is useful to give you a visual, to make it easier for you to see how the data is dispersed, okay, where the center of the data is going to lie. It's much easier to see that than it would be maybe if we were to graph this, you know, in a different way, okay? All right, guys, I hope you found this little video helpful. Again, if you have any questions, if you need any help, please reach out. I'm going to be available from 9 to 10:30, and then again from 12:30 to 2 every day. You can try reaching me on Google Hangouts, Remind, or my email. If you're trying me on Google Hangouts and if you can't get through, send me a message on Remind, or send me an email, because it just means that there's an issue that I haven't yet worked out. Okay, so that some people are having issues with the Hangouts. Hopefully that won't be the problem. All right. Have a great day, guys, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.